David Menzies for Rebel News here in beautiful Brampton, Ontario. And folks, I'm standing outside the Islamic Shia Ithna-Asheri Jamaat of Toronto mosque. You know, that's quite a mouthful for what is in effect a terror mosque. I'm not kidding. The reason why we're here tonight, as you can see, the parking lot is jammed. The people here are mourning the passing of the Ayatollah Khamenei, the so-called supreme leader. That's right. They are mourning the death of a mass murderer that killed tens and tens of thousands of his own people just for protesting in the last few weeks alone. It is an absolute and utter disgrace. Now, folks, we're here to practice journalism. We're going to try to ask the congregants here why they would mourn the passing of a modern-day Hitler. And we're doing a little advocacy as well. We have brought our big, beautiful billboard truck, and we have a new campaign, NoTerrorMosque.com. That's NoTerrorMosque.com. Can I ask you a favor? Can you go on the website, sign the petition, and if you're able to, kindly make a donation. We typically incur about $1,500 of cost when we bring our truck to one of these capers, and we depend on your generosity in order to cover our expenses. Now, it's filling up, and I should tell you, in the propaganda sent out to the congregants, the people at this mosque said, if there's no parking spaces, no problem. There's overflow parking at the CAA Center. And I'm not exaggerating. We've been tipped off by sources, folks, that members of the IRGC are most likely to show up here tonight. We don't know who's who in the zoo, but these are terrorists. These are the people that shot down the Ukrainian airliner in January of 2020. And there are some other bad hombres in there as well. In any event, I see some people coming, some stragglers to the event. I'm going to just engage and find out why in the Dominion of Canada, in this Western democracy, they have taken it upon themselves to come and mourn the passing of a monster. By the way, folks, in addition to the expenses that we incur with our truck, we need you to help out with our security costs. We came with 4 superb security guards today to ensure our personal safety. We were tipped off that there are a whole lot of really bad hombres inside this mosque who would think nothing of harming us, and it's better to be safe than sorry. So again, please go to NoTerrorMosque.com, sign the petition, and kindly make a donation. Sir, are you mourning the death of the mass murderer Khamenei? Hi, sir. Have you come to mourn the death of the mass murderer Khamenei?
I don't want to say anything.
Oh, why not? We're living in Canada, not Tehran. You're allowed freedom of speech here, sir. Oh, hi, guys. Hey, are you here to mourn the death of the mass murderer Khamenei?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Why do you support a terrorist murderer? Sir, are you here to mourn the death of the mass murderer Khamenei? Hi, sir. Can you tell me if you're loyal to Canada or the Iranian regime? Do you think Khamenei is now enjoying the pleasure of 72 voluptuous black-eyed virgins right now? Would some of those virgins be goats, perhaps? Who's your favorite terrorist group? IRGC, Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthis? What do you think about our truck? Sir, are you here to mourn the mass murderer Khamenei? Was it a good thing that Khamenei was killed? Sir, are you here to mourn the mass murderer Khamenei? How about you, sir? Are you loyal to Canada or the Iranian regime? Hey guys, are you here to mourn the mass murderer Khamenei? Would you ever accept dental work from a Mossad agent? Sir, are you here to mourn the mass murderer Khomeini? Are you loyal to Canada or the Iranian regime? Hi, sir. Are you here to mourn the mass murderer Khomeini? How are you? Oh, very good, sir. How about yourself? Oh, look, action time. Well, folks, the police have arrived. What's the crime? Practicing journalism in a public place? I think we're about to find out really soon. Okay. So, folks, this is rather bizarre, isn't it? I see one of the head honchos talking to that officer from Peel region. I guess he's telling on us, but what are we doing? We're on a public sidewalk in the Dominion of Canada practicing journalism. I think we're under Canadian law, not Sharia law, much to the chagrin of the guy whining to the police officer now. There should, of course, be no charges. Hi, ma'am. Are you here to celebrate the mass murderer Khomeini? Are you a Canadian? Are you proud to be a Canadian or an Iranian regime supporter?
So we got complaints, so I'll tell you the call that we got dispatched to.
Yes, okay.
We got dispatched to a call about people harassing other people by kind of surrounding them. So when I talked to one of the, I'm not sure who he is. I think he's part of the management of the management of the mosque. He was alleging that you guys were kind of surrounding him. So we're not here to charge anyone. We're not here to, we don't want to do any of that. We don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, we don't take sides like that.
100%, yes.
But we just don't want people to get surrounded and people to feel more scared.
I appreciate that, officer, and thank you so much. Yeah. Blessed are the peacemakers. But I can tell you, you were on the receiving end of Takia, a bold-faced lie. We surrounded nobody.
Okay.
And I can even prove that with video footage. So that is a bold-faced lie, 100%. That's not how we do journalism. We're just asking people questions why they're coming to a mosque to celebrate the passing of a mass murderer. The so-called Supreme Leader Khomeini. And I can tell you, if you want a law enforcement tip, we've been told by our sources there's some really bad hombres at this mosque, including IRGC agents. That's the terrorist group that shot down the Ukrainian airliner, killing dozens of Canadians back in January of 2020. Maybe you might want to go and do a head count there.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of, we're here to kind of keep the peace for the call we're dispatched.
Yep.
If you have something to, a tip to give, by all means, you can reach out to the correct outlets, VLP Regional Police. We have different bureaus to handle that stuff.
Okay.
I'm here as a police officer to keep the peace in this general vicinity.
Oh, right, sir, I appreciate that. We're not disturbing any peace. We're just asking questions.
No problem.
Hey, guys, are you here to mourn the mass murderer Khomeini? Do you consider yourself a Canadian or a supporter of the Iranian regime? Hey guys, are you here to mourn the passing of the mass murderer Khomeini? How about you, sir? Do you consider yourself Canadian or a supporter of the Iranian regime? Hello, sir. Are you here to mourn the death of Mr. Khomeini? Do you think he's a horrible person, or we are? Oh, okay then. Do you think he's enjoying the pleasure of 72 voluptuous black-eyed virgins? And if so, how many are goats? Hey guys, are you here to mourn the death of the Supreme Leader, Khomeini? Who's your favorite terrorist group? IRGC, Hamas, Hezbollah, or Houthis? How about yourself, sir?
Supporting Iran.
You are supporting Iran? The regime? I think that was only our second comment of the night. I am supporting Iran. I interpret that as the Iranian regime, not the Iranian people rising up against the regime. What was the other comment? Oh yeah, we're a disgrace. Hello, sir. Are you here to mourn the death of the Supreme Leader Khomeini?
Sorry, I cannot say anything.
Oh, you can't. We're in Canada. You're allowed to speak. We have a free press. No. Who is your favorite terror group? IRGC, Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthis? Why are you telling this man not to speak to us, sir? You see, folks, this is part of the propaganda play. You might recall my cameraman Efren and I I guess it must be about 8 years ago, we were covering an Al-Quds march in downtown Toronto. And do you remember this fellow that approached us and gave us an interview, despite the fact that the organizers were telling him to shut up? But I'm very grateful for that interview, because he told me, I think, what so many of the people in that mosque think. Let's go to an excerpt.
What would happen to a gay couple in Gaza?
Executed according to Islamic law. Islam doesn't endorse gayism. Islam doesn't endorse homosexuality.
Okay, so would you like to see Sharia law in Canada replace Canadian law?
At some point it will. You know, because we have families, we are making babies. You're not. Your population is going down the slump, right? Yeah. By 2060, Muslims will be the biggest religious group the world over. Right. What are you going to do then? Actually, are you going to oppose Sharia even then?
Yeah, so that is the side of radical Islam that the organizers don't want you to know about. They want you to, drink the Kool-Aid, the religion of peace, and so on and so forth. But how peaceful is this particular mosque when they're having a vigil for a mass murderer of his own people? Imagine if Iran had nukes and the missiles to launch them from, because if Khamenei was killing his own people, he would think nothing of killing all of us. So there you have it, folks. We did try to get the people to respond to our questions, but they had either no intention of doing so, or the handlers here at the mosque, the terror mosque in Brampton, told them to keep their mouth shut. Don't show their true colors. I gotta say, I find this deeply depressing and distressing, and it goes back to the early 70s when Pierre Trudeau brought in official state-sanctioned multiculturalism. And the unspoken deal was this: come to Canada from anywhere in the world you hail from. Take advantage of all our social programs. Get a job here, a career, pursue the Canadian dream, the Canadian promise. And in return, we ask one thing: age-old hatreds, the wars you left behind, etc., leave that in the home country. Don't bring that over the pond with you. And what have we seen in the last couple of years alone? We have seen, I call them the Hamas holes, going into Jewish neighborhoods, predominantly Jewish neighborhoods, chanting genocide, displaying swastikas, cosplaying as the terrorist Sinwar. Unbelievable. And now we have a mosque full of people that are not against the tyranny of the Iranian regime. They completely support it. And what's more, I am sure if they had their druthers, they would like Canada to be more like Iran. It is absolutely saddening and despicable. And one last note, they have 2 police cruisers parked in the parking lot. I doubt they're paid duty. So I'm wondering, why are the police here? We mean no harm. And in fact, I said earlier, as you saw, I told one police officer, you might want to go in there and do some facial recognition surveillance, because there might be a cat or two on the most wanted list. Not that that stops anyone from getting into Canada these days under the Liberals. So there you have it. Again, I urge, go to noterrormosque.com, noterrormosque.com. Sign the petition if you can, make a donation. And signing off from beautiful Brampton, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. We're taking a stand. As you can see, our new call to action is noterrormosques.com, noterrormosques.com. Let's shut these kind of places down. Let's stop harboring terrorists in our own country. And we know there are more than 700 IRGC agents in Canada. It's a disgrace. And while you're there signing our petition, folks, if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that we can cover the expenses incurred by our big, beautiful billboard truck. My thanks in advance.